Parallel and perpendicular lines. So parallel lines means there's two lines that never intersect. And this is because you have two lines that are always equal distance from each other. Like it always stays that same distance apart. Always. So they can just keep going on forever and never intersect. Now, perpendicular lines are two lines that intersect, so they meet or cross at 90-degree angles, so right angles, right? So let's look below to kind of figure out what's parallel lines and what's perpendicular lines in this. So we can see right here, this line and this line, that they're parallel because they're never going to intersect. They just seem to be going on at the same kind of slope, or the line that just kind of slightly slants up, right? That's what I mean by slope. So how we would show this for parallel lines, we would show, so there's a point Q and T on there. So we can go Q, T, and this is a line, so we show it by having a bar on the top with the two arrows on the side. So parallel lines, and then we do this thing where we just do two, like essentially L's, but they're a little bit longer, or just right like this to show parallel lines, and it would be PV. So we would just show the 2 points, but it's on the line, right? So PV is just on this line. So QT, the line, is parallel, that's what that means, to PV. Now, what about perpendicular? So perpendicular, right? So let's go ahead and use QT because we see this right angle. So QT, again, it's a line. It is perpendicular, so you do this symbol here to show perpendicular to this RX. So that's how we indicate parallel and perpendicular lines, by the symbols and by the certain lines. Now let's look at some examples. Example 1. What line is perpendicular to line P? So we would go line P, and we're doing perpendicular, so we do this symbol. So line P, right? If this is line P, so what's perpendicular? Well, it has to make a right angle. So this one right here. So it'd be line R. So that would be our solution, right? We could just write line P with this symbol that shows it's perpendicular to line R. Now let's do the next example. So example 2, what line is parallel to line P? So once again, we have line P. So we got line P, but now we're doing parallel. And what do we notice? Well, this line right here looks parallel to P. So let's go ahead and write that. So line Q, because that's Q. Notice we don't have 2 points on this. We could indicate 2 points, right? If we wanted to say this was an A, there was another point here, B, this was C, this was D, right? We could also go A, B, that's on the line, is parallel to line CD. But that's just to show you why we just did the line P, because it just was indicated as P and Q for this one. Now, another thing to know about parallel is when you have lines that are parallel, they have this thing where they can like show an arrow, and that arrow indicates that those two lines are parallel because they both have the same one at the same point. So that is also an indication that those lines are parallel.